I think the biggest news that happened within the past maybe 6, 7 days is N'Golo Kante signing for Chelsea. It's a big signing because Kante was arguably the best player last season, or maybe not the best player, but certainly the most important player in 2015-16. And for Chelsea to get him without European football, I think is a big coup. Not to bring up Turkey, but it's a big coup.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Basically, no. I mean, remember this was rumored about months ago. I think this was even rumored like towards the end of last season about Chelsea wanting Conte. As soon as it was rumored, I think out of the Conte Vardy Mahrez thing, the person who it was already pretty much 100% was Conte. He was the guy that was going to leave. So it's not surprising.
I mean, but you have to think like Vardy could have gone to Arsenal. And he stayed with Leicester, kind of showing loyalty, signed a 5-year deal. And at first, when I heard that Kante was going to Chelsea, I thought, this is probably just a trick or a kind of ploy from Kante's agents, so that way Leicester will hike the price on their offer and Kante can stay with Leicester. I kind of looked at it very skeptically, but the news kept coming and the reports, it starts with kind of the Daily Mirror, then it gets to the Sun. And you're kind of like, eh. But then, but then when it starts getting into like the Telegraph and then the Guardian, you're like, okay, this might be real. And then when it gets to BBC and Sky, with their official sources and whatnot, it's like, okay, this happened. So at first I wasn't sure, but I think it's maybe the best signing so far this summer.
I would say Conte may be the best defensive midfield crack cocaine out there on the globe. Because this guy, he hustles, and he's got crazy calf muscles, and what he did for Leicester's midfield was huge. So already the midfield of Chelsea has gone up 65.667 level. So
who was the best central defensive midfielder 2 seasons ago in the Premier League? It was Matic.
Titch.
So, I mean, you have Kante, you have Matic.
But Matic is garbage now, man.
I don't know. I think like Mourinho, whatever happened with that situation, it just put him off football for a while. But I think Conte can get him back. But even if he doesn't, you still have, you still have Mikel.
Are you kidding me? I mean, do you want me to hand in my resignation from Talking Tactics right
No,
now?
I mean that's like the backup plan.
He's not good enough even to be. I would put a Scunthorpe player over Mikel. That's how much I rate that joke of the guy.
Okay. You're Nigerian. Mikel is Nigerian. What is your issue with John Obi Mikel?
I believe that he is overrated, and people overrate him because he is an African player that plays for a big team like Chelsea. Because this isn't the 90s anymore, where you had Okocha, Patrick Mboma, Yeboah playing for very good teams. There are very few African players. It's really Yaya Toure and Mikel who are playing for top clubs now. Because remember, Eto doesn't play anymore. But when you look at him, he is not that good. He passes sideways and backwards. He doesn't do anything of any real note for the team.
It's your issue with Mikel, because I remember when United and Chelsea, they had like a battle over Mikel, and I think Chelsea had to pay United 16 million or 12 million or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
He was thought to be a more forward-minded player, wasn't he?
No, when he plays for Nigeria, he plays as a number 10, but because he's been played so much as a defensive midfielder, he's ineffective when he plays for Nigeria in his actual natural position, which is an attacking midfielder.
Right. So is that your problem with him, that he kind of sacrificed his offensive brilliance just to pass sideways and backwards?
Yeah, no, and I think the key thing is that he chose London over furthering his career. The right move for him as a football player was going under Ferguson, playing in his preferred position. But he was like, you know what, I want to go to London. I want to live in London because Nigerians prefer London, and his career has been killed for it.
Well, anyway, one last thought on Kante. When he signed, I tweeted out, can we please not call N'Golo Kante a workhorse? That kind of language has serious and negative racial undertones, right?
Very racist, very racist.
Now, and I said, talk about Kante's game reading, his intelligence, his anticipation, his tackling. Talk about what he does with his gifts, not just that he has them. and people were in my mentions talking about, yo, if I can pull up a tweet right quick, it's kind of buried in my mentions. Basically telling me, shut up. It's a football term used to describe a hardworking player of any color or nationality. and that's kind of the response I got. And I was like, yo, name like one white player who gets termed as a powerhouse or a workhorse. Now, watch. To this guy's credit, he gave me 4 players: Mark Noble, Jimmy Bullard, Kevin Davies, and Kevin Nolan.
They aren't described as those things. I've never heard any of those players described as
workhorse. But look, and I was like, look, you name me 4 players, and 3 of them are retired. I can name you 3 players on Chelsea right now who get that kind of treatment. And he was basically like, yo, stop trying to be racist. Stop trying to be, trying to drum up these kind of situations. And I was basically telling him, like, look, people often try to make black players or African players or even some Brazilian players, they try to take them from being smart and intelligent to, oh, they can run fast. They're built like, tanks and all this, like they're midfield engines and powerhouses and this and that. And I'm like, look, that has racial stereotype written all over it. Because Mo Farah, for instance, he has fantastic stamina. If you put him on a football pitch, he's not going to be as good as Kante because Kante has a footballing brain.
Yeah, sorry to cut you, but just even to add to that very quickly, what I always, for me, the thing that ends this whole thing is that people that say these things, they may not have played the sport. If you've played football before, having just pure power or stamina, as you said, that's not good enough. This is still a skill-based sport. Kante has all of those attributes that just augment what he does, but he's very smart because he anticipates, he intercepts, and the ability to intercept and break up play comes from intelligence, because anticipation is linked into intelligence and your brain, using your brain to basically read the game 2 steps, 3 steps ahead and making the right pass. So you need skill and intelligence to play football because football is a very hard, very technical game.
All right, so just to like finish this out a little bit, this person told me if his main attribute is his work ethic, then he will be described as a workhorse regardless of race. I responded, Kante's main attribute is intelligence, which is my original point. Calling him a workhorse subjugates that brilliance. And this person was like, I don't think it is. It's energy, commitment, power, presence. It was kind of jarring to read. And I responded, I was like, what would those attributes be without an intelligent mind to operate them? The whole point here is black players are often judged first by their physical attributes, not their mental acuity. When the term workhorse is used, it reinforces those concepts, neglecting the requisite intelligence of great players. And, and he started responding and he was like, you can have the last word. And my last word was this: there aren't centuries of history making white people seem intellectually inferior to black people. And it really gets under my skin when I see powerhouse, workhorse, midfield engine. Like, I mean, don't make them all that they are. And it really pisses me off when I see that. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, basically, for me, what you're saying is completely correct. And I just think is that, like, when people use a narrative, especially if it's for like black players who are quick or who are fast or who are strong, for me, it is demeaning because if anybody who knows football is that it's any position you play requires skill. A guy who is purely just fast is useless to me. I don't want you on my team.
See Theo Walcott. I'm not calling him completely useless, but I mean he's just pace. Sterling.
No. If you're not, I will, and I'll add Sterling to that list. I'll add both of them to that list. Those guys, they to me are useless. Speedy Gonzalez, thank you, but I need a brain. I need some intelligence. I need a footballing brain. If you don't have that, I don't care how fast you are. You're useless. Like Romedel for Denmark, he was one of the quickest players I think the game has ever seen, but he's not of that much use because that's all he had in his game was just his speed. Without the supplementary required attributes, you can't be in a functioning football team.